Go. Hello.
This seems like a good podcast to find some ingredients. Am I right, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome, everybody, to the Brothers Game Podcast with me, Nikolai.
And me, Brian.
And I don't know if you could tell from that really funny opening, but we're talking about Kingdom Hearts today.
Yep. It's finally time. We've teased it enough.
We've just, I know you're all just itching on the edge of your seats every 15 days-ish.
Ish. It's about 2
When's the
weeks.
Kingdom Hearts episode? Well, here it is. We are talking about Kingdom Hearts and KH alone in this episode. So,
Deep dive.
the deep dive. We're deep diving into Atlantica for this one. Get it?
I get it.
I got my green tea and I'm ready to go.
Cool. I didn't grab a beverage, but that's okay.
okay.
I'll be fine.
And no bunnies attacking us this time.
Not as far as I can tell.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll listen for cracklies.
Indeed.
So, Kingdom Hearts. What does that mean to us in general?
So, okay.
An overarching,
to
just
start
an
with,
overarching, I think.
no,
to start with.
just
Okay.
tell me what was the release date of the first game?
America 2002.
2002. Okay, wow.
Hearts 1.
So, yeah, I wasn't even in high school
Very,
yet.
very old. 20 years old now.
Gosh, did I even... I'm trying to remember when I saw the first commercial for it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd even heard of
And
it
I
for a
don't-
few more years.
Yeah, I feel like it took a while because I didn't really know any of the Final Fantasy characters until high school because that's when Advent Children came out and that's when I first
Definitely.
played FF7. So
And then I, through osmosis, learned about Final Fantasy from you,
Right.
seven in particular. And so I thought it was really cool. I
Yeah.
was like, oh, these cool anime guys.
yeah,
Because that was around, I was maybe, 10 years old. I was getting into Naruto and anime and stuff. So I
Right.
thought that was super cool.
but I
Guy
do
with a big sword,
I do distinctly remember seeing a ad for it, and I see Mickey walking side by side with an anime-looking character, and Simple and Clean playing in the background. I'm like, what is this?
What is happening?
This is the most bizarre thing I feel like I've ever seen. So, anyway, it is a wild ride.
Yes.
My overarching opinion of
Yeah.
it is it's a wild
It is
ride.
Wild. I would say it is the video game series I'm most emotionally attached to.
Yeah.
And that's probably just due to the sort of dark edginess of it and getting into it in such formative years,
Yeah.
young
for sure.
teenager and stuff. You tend to get sort of obsessed with things at that age, and like this is my personality now.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of why it's such a sort of weirdly deep connection.
Yeah.
Because I was one of those kids. I was one of those Kingdom Hearts fans back then.
Well, and so like Kingdom Hearts, I guess Final Fantasy is probably like Final Fantasy and games of its type were the first kind of games that had like deep stories.
Yeah. Because like early RPGs, Super Nintendo and stuff, Chrono Trigger, for
Yeah.
instance, tried to tell stories, right? Tried to tell these deep stories, but it never really conveyed very well until graphics could get better, basically, or until games
'Cause-
could get longer.
Yeah, because like just about every game has a story, quote unquote.
Yeah.
Like I remember the creator of Missile Command talking about how how the game made him feel and like how he would have nightmares about the game after he designed it
like
because of
crazy.
just the
How
thought of like living through a nuclear war and just so yeah.
But like you don't get that just by playing the game.
Right.
The creator has to tell you about
Yeah.
it.
And obviously the creator
Very
is so
different.
close to the material that he's
Yeah.
going to feel that more than just the average player.
Especially back then when most games had extremely small teams
Yeah,
making
yeah,
them.
absolutely.
Was it hundreds of
And
people?
most games didn't have a writer, didn't have like a professional
No,
writer.
no
It was
way.
just somebody on staff wrote something.
Some dude
So
wrote badly translated
yeah.
text.
So other than a few of the like RPGs that had like deep stories. There wasn't a lot of narrative going on in video games, I feel like, until I'm trying to remember the first. So like Kingdom Hearts was actually
early.
even for me was one of the earliest games that had anything close to what I'd call a deep story.
Yeah, I can't think of particular ones that had, deep stories. Because that was like, early PS2 era.
Yeah.
And like GameCube games didn't really have deep stories that I could remember.
Right, because like
I mean, maybe Custom Robo had sort of a
'cause
story, but
up until we had a PS2, the only consoles we had were Nintendo. So if we just think of like Nintendo games we played, it was mostly Mario and a few other Nintendo titles. I guess like the closest it came was like Kirby 64, the Crystal Shards, and a couple of games like that.
Pretty dark, yeah.
And Paper Mario, it has a story, but like
pretty loose.
nothing all that deep until we get into
because I guess we really weren't
JRPGs,
playing
really.
JRPGs until like real anime style ones, sort
Yeah,
of.
because like
until
the
FF7.
closest I got to a JRPG was Pokemon.
Yeah, and Paper Mario, I guess.
And Paper Mario.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's one of the first. It's probably what made me like RPGs. I guess FF7 also,
Yeah.
but because I mean, it is kind of a different type of RPG. It's more action.
Yeah, it's an action RPG.
Because
It's not a turn-based.
Yeah,
RPG.
it's not turn-based and instanced battles and all that. You could just fight as you're walking.
Yeah,
which was like,
actually
whoa,
fighting
that's
enemies in
crazy.
the overworld. Yeah.
Yeah, which is what now Final Fantasy games are.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. So,
Which I guess that was also one of the earlier RPGs to do that. Like that's obviously
think
very
so.
common in just action games and action adventure games, but not necessarily in RPGs very often.
back then it was mostly random encounters, or at least instanced encounters that had their own little cut off into a whole different scene for the battle.
Yeah. And so we don't have a lot of experience with JRPGs outside of the Final Fantasy world. Like we haven't played any of the Xenogear, Xenoblade, Xenosaga, etc. We haven't played. I've only played one Tales of game. I've never played Chrono Trigger or Chrono Cross.
I've played Chrono Trigger, and it is quite good.
Interesting.
But,
I didn't know that actually. Huh.
oh yeah, I've played Chrono Trigger. I've played Earthbound, which I like a
right.
lot. But again, when I didn't play these as a kid. I played these, within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So like way after
As an
my
older teen, young adult.
Yeah, exactly. And it's because I was like, oh, I like RPGs because of Pokemon, Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts. I should play these other ones everyone says are the greatest of all time.
No.
Chrono Trigger is quite good. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorites, but that's because I didn't grow up with it probably.
Right.
Earthbound is actually one of my favorites. That's a pretty sweet game. Cool. But anyway, this is about Kingdom Hearts. Forget all that. Forget that crap. So yeah, we obviously didn't play Kingdom Hearts at launch, which is in like 2002. Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in like 2005.
Right.
So that is closer to when we started getting into Kingdom Hearts. Definitely.
And I feel like you played it before I did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how I genuinely don't know how I first heard about it.
Yeah.
Like if it was from you or if it was from a friend or from a commercial. But I'm pretty sure we got Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 at the same time.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess because I remember both being available to play. This is like kid memory, so I'm really trying to remember.
Yeah.
But I feel like we must have gotten them at the same time. Because I don't even remember exactly which one I played first.
So I think
I'm pretty sure I played
the
Kingdom Hearts 1
Kingdom
first.
Hearts 1, and I played it for a little bit, and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is a weird game, and I turned it off. And then
me
you
and
got
Ala
you
were
got
like,
way into Kingdom Hearts 2.
Yeah. I was definitely more into Kingdom Hearts 2.
And then
but-
that was the first time I ever seriously played Kingdom Hearts is when I played 2. And anytime
liked
I can
everything
remember
else about
having
it.
talked about the game, it was after I had already played it. So, because obviously,
yeah, that beginning is really like sketchy to me. I do not remember exactly how that went down.
Yeah,
I'm very
I mean,
curious.
it was a long time ago, but yeah, it's weird.
Because I definitely remember playing 1 and 2 basically at the same time. And And so that made the story even more confusing.
Yeah.
I remember I learned the story best by watching Alla play
Yeah.
the first Kingdom Hearts. 'Cause I think he beat it before even I did.
Yeah.
But then that made me want to
Yeah.
beat it.
All three
also,
of us kind of
so,
played it at the same time.
Yeah. And I think we've mentioned Alla before.
Yeah.
Basically, our stepbrother who we grew up with,
Mm-hmm.
great friend of ours. Miss him greatly.
Yeah.
Tried to keep in touch. Stuff happens. Anyway.
I remember I beat Kingdom Hearts 2, or at least I got to Xemnas and got to like his final stage and then died or something. And then just kind of, and I think I just gave up. But
I remember very specific bosses getting stuck on
yeah.
before finally beating. It was definitely a long time since to like completely beat the game.
Yeah. I do remember you struggling a lot with Zaldin.
Zaldin was the first
And
one
then
I really
Xigbar,
struggled
too.
with. And then Xigbar even worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I was playing on like standard difficulty. And again, I was a teenager, sort of new to these kind of games. So learning it still. And yeah, I remember very late nights of fighting Zaldin over and over again.
Yeah.
And it was one of the bosses where if you died, you could come back as Mickey
Yeah.
and he would help you out and maybe get you through the
It's
boss.
surprising how little that helped.
Yeah, it is weird because then if he died, you were done.
Yeah.
Completely.
Well, and so like he comes out and you have a brief feeling of like awesomeness,
Like,
like, oh,
whoa.
dude, I get to play as Mickey. This is great.
I mean, for a little bit,
and
he
for
does.
like
He's
30
better than
seconds,
Sora, absolutely.
you're wrecking this guy,
Yeah.
and then it starts to it stops helping.
Yeah, because he's not immune to damage or anything.
Right.
And Zeldin's attack patterns are nuts, So, yeah, eventually I just finally beat him.
No.
Xigbar was horrendous.
Yeah.
And I hated him so much.
Now I played the game on
doing it over
beginner,
and over.
so I didn't have a lot of trouble with them.
Yeah.
I had trouble with Xemnas, but I didn't have trouble with
Mm-hmm.
anybody before that, really.
It's funny. I had way more trouble with Xigbar than Xemnas.
Yeah.
Yeah, Xemnas was not that big of a deal to me. It's very, very interesting.
But like on beginner, if you just you hit triangle every time you're prompted for it, you pretty much win every fight.
Yeah, that's big. That is big in that game. So yeah, during that time, I was all in on Kingdom Hearts, and really all that it was out was 1 and 2, and Chain of Memories came out in 2004. It actually did come out before Kingdom Hearts 2 on the Game Boy Advance SP, obviously. I didn't know that game existed for a little bit, and I had an SP, and I heard there was a Kingdom Hearts game for...
I do remember you getting it and
Game
talking
Boy.
about it and talking about how it was important to the story.
Yeah,
Now,
because I was like, wait, this is between 1 and 2? This
for
is
me
crazy.
in the story, I only knew anything about Kingdom Hearts 1 because I played Kingdom Hearts 2, because I never, I barely got through the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 1, so I didn't know the story of Kingdom Hearts 1.
Yeah, playing 1 all the way through makes like the heart stuff make a lot more sense. And makes sense of why Roxas even exists.
Yeah.
Because, Sora became a Heartless for a little bit there. Yeah, it's funny. I understood Kingdom Hearts 2 way before I understood Kingdom Hearts 1, but I think it's just because we played it a lot more.
Yeah.
It's funny. I have a very vivid memory of playing Chain of Memories on my silver SP
Yeah.
with Mom, and we were walking through Winco, which is a grocery store near our house, which we still go to. I was there today. The exact same one. And I just vividly remember, for some reason, going through the aisles playing that. Obviously, that's a very different game. That's if you don't know, that's a card-based game where you...
Yeah, just like PSO Episode 3 Card Revolution.
It is completely different than Kingdom Hearts. But
I don't know
actually,
what it is
once I
about-
got the hang of it, I didn't hate it. And I still don't hate it.
That's a thing in
so-
Japan of having
Yes.
a card game version of a RPG.
That's just that is a thing.
Pokemon, PSO, Kingdom Hearts.
They like cards.
There's got to be others that I just am not thinking of, but yeah.
Yep, they like cards for some reason.
And you were the one who told me about 358/2 days.
So yeah, as we continued on. I replayed Kingdom Hearts 2 1,000,000,000 times.
Right.
I hadn't beaten it that many times, but I had like restarted and played
You
through
played
most
Kingdom
of
Hearts
it.
2 the way I played Pokemon Blue.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. There was a long time there. It still might be my most played game. Through like hours wise, because I never got sick of it, and I'm still not really sick of it. I could replay Kingdom Hearts 2 pretty much any time. And it's funny, the internet was just starting to really ramp up then. And so I was hearing things about like the Japanese only Final Mix games. And I'm like, like, there's extra stuff. I want that. Why isn't
I
that
remember
here?
watching
I was so
the
sad.
YouTube video of the fight with Terra. I'm like,
Yeah.
who's
The fight
Terra?
with
This
Terra
is cool.
With the, what is it? The Forgotten, not the Forgotten. What's that fight called?
In the Keyblade
called?
Graveyard.
Yeah,
but,
the Terra fight. What is that
the like
called?
lingering memory or
Lingering
something.
Will.
Lingering Will,
Yeah, pretty sure that's what it's called. Which is a really awesome fight, by the way, now that I've played it.
Yeah, well, and
It's
also like an
fantastic.
important part of Kingdom Hearts 3.
Insanely important, yeah. But even Kingdom Hearts 1 Final Mix has the fight with Xemnas. With the light with his blue lightsaber hands instead of red, but yeah.
Before you even know
hard.
who he is.
Yeah. It's just some organization guy because you can't see his face or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love all the foreshadowing to future games is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
In a lot of these games. But anyway, yes, as you mentioned, I was really into mobile Nintendo. So like Game Boy Advance SP and the DS.
Yeah. You actually owned a PSP. And
Yes, I owned a PSP, which was fantastic. I bought a PSP because Birth by Sleep was coming out. That's why I bought the PSP. So yeah, I was really into mobile. And like the original DS is one of my most played consoles probably. Because like, yeah, as a teenager, I loved the DS. And yeah, it was awesome. Between the original DS and a DS Lite, I had like 3 different ones at least of each. Like from like selling it or trading it and buying a new one, or like just, I don't know, weird stuff kids do. There's a lot of weird games for that are not good now.
Yeah.
Now that I realize that are not good games. But anyway.
And then around this time, because it was around this time, maybe 07, 08.
Let me look. 358/2 days was 09.
Okay. So probably right before that or near that time, there was a collection of YouTube videos called Kingdom Hearts, The
gosh.
Stupid Files.
Yeah, there was.
They were
legendary.
really funny.
Yeah, man, it's like AMV Hell. It's like comedy compilations of like scenes from Kingdom Hearts with random clips from
Random sound bites
movies or
and
whatever.
yeah.
So weird. And like now probably would not be very funny. But then, oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing on the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much took in as much Kingdom Hearts as possible. That's when like the manga started to come out in America. And I was all about that, you know. I was very sad because they only released so much of it because it wasn't, I don't know if it was selling very well. Now they have all of it, which is really cool. But
it would have been cool if they could have adapted the entire storyline start to finish through a manga.
And they're doing that through novel, though. There's light novels that are
cool.
quite good, actually. I really like those. But we're getting all mixed up here.
Yeah.
So 09 is when 358 came out, which I thought was the coolest idea ever because you get to play as the organization members.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's even like the members I'd never heard of, you know, who aren't really mentioned in Kingdom Hearts 2. They are mentioned in Chain of Memories, but yeah, this basically takes place the same time as Chain of Memories, except from the organization's perspective. And the problem with that game is the game is terrible. Actually playing it was not very fun.
Yeah.
And so it was like a chore to play. And I love Kingdom Hearts. But the story is actually quite good. I like the story of Shion. Roxas is one of my favorite, if not my favorite character, in the series. So yeah, that was a chore. And then Recoded came out the next year in 2010, and that is somehow even worse of a game. Actually, playing wise, I think it's the worst Kingdom Hearts game.
Wow.
is Recoded. I just didn't like the play style at all. It was just weird. I don't know. We also got Chain of Memories
Right.
in 2000. That came out 2007, but I think we got it around 09, 010,
No.
2010. And that's, of course, just the PlayStation port of Chain of Memories for the Game Boy.
Right.
But they fully redid it, like in the style of Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, which was really cool. Made it like actually look like a Kingdom Hearts game instead of pixel graphics.
It's funny when you watch the cutscenes in it, how much older Sora sounds,
Yes,
even though it's supposed to happen
absolutely.
immediately after Kingdom Hearts 1.
Absolutely. Yeah, it is Haley Joel Osment, but Kingdom Hearts 2 era. Yeah, definitely. It's so funny too, because I thought it was so crazy that Jesse McCartney voiced Roxas. Because I was like, I saw him on like Disney Channel and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
wait, that's Roxas? That's crazy.
And the fact that he's continued to do it throughout
Still,
all the other
to this
games,
day,
that's awesome.
He's Ventus and Roxas both, even in Kingdom Hearts 3 and so on. Yeah, I thought that was so crazy. And I thought it was really cool because Kairi was Hayden Panettiere in Kingdom Hearts 2 at least. And we were watching Heroes at the time where she's one of the main characters. And I was like, that's Kairi. That's awesome. That's so cool. Yeah, so that was fun. So obviously she's changed voice actors now, but I actually really like the new Kairi. I think she suits her very well. I forget her name, but does a very good job. And so 2010 is also when Birth by Sleep came out for the PSP, and I absolutely loved that game.
Yeah.
And I still love that game. That's up there in like top 5 at least Kingdom Hearts games. Like the worlds aren't great and they're not very fleshed out, but I really like the characters, the story, the new command deck thing. I didn't dislike.
It took a while for me to really wrap my head around that, but once I did, I'm like, oh, okay, I've got this.
I like this. Yeah. I really prefer just the Kingdom Hearts 2 style of gameplay, but I think that's just from growing up with it. But it worked well comparing it to like 358/2 days and stuff. So
I was wondering about so like we didn't have any episodes of the podcast where I was talking about playing Kingdom Hearts 3, and that's because it came out in January of 2019.
okay.
And we've started this podcast in December of 2019, so I had long since finished the game
There you go.
when we started the podcast. So
That makes sense. Yeah, it wasn't new, I guess. It's weird how old that game is now
Yeah,
already.
it's suddenly 3 years old or whatever. Yeah,
It's like over 3 years old. Because it came out in 2019. Yeah, very strange. Because it does feel kind of new still. Because I was married by the time it came out,
right.
but I was still in the apartment. We hadn't bought our house yet or anything. And it just feels like so long ago. It's very funny. I want to back up a little bit and talk about. Maybe we could go through the whole timeline,
Right.
but I want to talk about, more intricacies of the games, I guess, if you want to. Or do you want to just finish out the timeline?
Let's go ahead and finish. And at some
then
point,
back up,
I'm going to talk about stories, replaying and playing story so far and all that. But.
So after Recoded, I fell off Kingdom Hearts a little bit. I would almost replay 2 every once in a while still, or Birth by Sleep. But I remember when Dream Drop Distance came out, which is, or 3D for the 3DS. I had a 3DS. I never owned Dream Drop Distance.
Interesting.
I never bought it, but not once. Like, for some reason at the time, I didn't really care enough.
Right.
Because the games hadn't been that good since then. And it's funny, I remember watching some cutscenes from it, and I was like, I hated how young they seemed. But that's because the whole game basically takes place in a dream in like a different world. But I hated that Sora was like a kid again. I'm like, why doesn't he look like he did in Kingdom Hearts 2?
Yeah, it's like
I don't want little kid Sora
it's
anymore.
like it almost felt like they just kept making him a kid again.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, I
kept
want
taking his
Kingdom
power
Hearts 2
away.
Sora.
And yeah.
Yeah. Now going back, I like the story of it. Some of the time travel stuff's cool. The,
was
the
interesting to-
Xehanort stuff's interesting.
It was interesting to integrate The World Ends With You,
Yeah, exactly.
since it's a similar game in a
Which
lot
I
of ways.
haven't played, but I actually have the Switch version, and I really want to pick that up. I want to try that eventually.
Yeah.
I do want to play that. Just because I really like Kingdom Hearts and I really like Persona, and it seems
Right.
like a mix of the two.
Yeah.
It's very Persona style like to me, kind of that stylized weird thing. Anyway, so yeah, I didn't play 3D, which was always weird to me. I was like, I really need to just play that.
I've also never played it, so there you
Well,
go.
I played it on the now that it's been ported to the new consoles. I played that. So after that, they came out with 1.5 and 1.2, or not 1.2, but 1.5 and 2.5.
Right.
Which are just like the ports to the PS3.
Yeah.
Were the first ports, and
Yeah,
we
of
never
the-
owned a PS3,
Right.
so I never bought those. But I mean, it has 1, 2, Rechain of Memories, 3D cutscenes from 358/2 days, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Has basically every game.
And
up
of
to
course,
now.
1.5 is like Final Mix Plus or whatever,
Yeah.
so it's got all the
So they
Final
have-
Mix
they have
stuff.
Final Mix.
2.5 also is,
Which
all
was
the
why I
Final
was
Mix
like, I really want
content,
that,
yeah.
but we never owned a PS3.
Right.
So when I was finally getting a PS4, this is now, much later. This is like 2016 at least, 2017.
yeah.
I got a PS4, and I was like, now I can finally get all the new, ported Kingdom Hearts games. So I now still have those that I bought then, and that's when I went back and played the Final Mix stuff. I played the 3D. I basically got back into it a little bit, and then that's during this time. Not to my knowledge, but Union came out,
Oh, right. Union Cross.
and Union Cross, and then later Black Road and all this stuff. I haven't played any of that.
Right.
I have not played any of the mobile games at all. I don't know if that makes me not a real Kingdom Hearts fan.
Well,
But
they're gotcha games, and
I know
I don't know.
I don't play mobile games of any kind,
No.
and gotcha stuff just annoys me. But I love listening to summaries of the story.
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
obviously now 2019 Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out. Absolutely can't believe it. I can't believe Kingdom Hearts 3 ever actually came out.
Yeah, because we were waiting 14 years for it.
Yeah. So, yeah. Kingdom Hearts 3. How is that? How do you feel about Kingdom Hearts 3?
I liked it. It's like,
Cool. I'm just kidding.
no, so when you have a game that has that much anticipation,
Yeah.
it's taken you over 10 years to release this game, and it's a beloved it's an addition to a beloved series of games.
It was such a bold name like Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
When it's like the 10th plus game.
Right. There was a ton of pressure. There had to have been a ton of pressure on the writers and the developers to make sure that this was a
Nomura,
good
yeah.
game, that this was going to satisfy the expectations of all these people that have been waiting for all this time, that loved these games so much, that like I don't think any developer could have met those expectations.
It couldn't have been perfect. It was like impossible.
Yeah. So considering that, I think it was
It's pretty
quite
darn good. I think. Yeah, I am like an old school Kingdom Hearts fan that was pretty pleased with 3 actually. Like I played through it like 3 times
Yeah.
when it was new, and just pretty much enjoyed it
Yeah.
through and through. There's like a world or two I don't love, but even most of the worlds I prefer to older Kingdom Hearts games. Like it's on par with Birth by Sleep for me, definitely.
I felt similar to when Star Wars Episode 3 came out. I was just like, this will never be as good as anyone wants it to be, because there's just too much pressure.
Yeah.
There's too much expectation.
It's like they're trying
No
to do
movie
something,
could ever
but
live up to people's expectation of what this movie is supposed to be. And I enjoyed what Lucas made. Like, I'm a
you're a
prequel
prequel
apologist
fan.
anyway.
You're a prequel
but,
fan,
yeah.
so yeah, that's interesting. Well, one more game has come out since then, and that is
right.
MOM, Melody of Memory.
Yes.
I, for one, first of all, I adore Kingdom Hearts music. That's one of the best things about the series. And I love rhythm games. And that game was fantastic.
Yeah.
I actually love Melody of Memory. One of my favorite rhythm games. The story is decent. And at the end is actually, obviously, as usual, very important to the overarching story.
Right.
And quite enjoyable. I really want to pick that up again soon. Like, play it some more. Because I really loved that game, actually.
So, when I think about the Kingdom Hearts series, playing it,
Yeah.
as someone playing it, so the thing that drew me and kept me is the story. When I just think about the game itself, absent the story, it's kind of
Yeah.
It's like,
kinda
oh,
samey.
this is all right. If I had played, if it had just a super simple story that was like not even all that well written, and it had the exact same mechanics and visuals, I would have like played it once, maybe beat Kingdom Hearts 2, and then probably never played it again. Like, this was an okay game, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's the story that has kept me.
Yeah.
And it's the reason. So when the Story So Far collection came out and it had all the games,
Everything.
and then Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I bought them both and I sat down and I started with Kingdom Hearts 1 and I just played.
I basically did the exact same thing.
So for Rechain of Memories, I did not play Rechain of Memories. I instead went on YouTube and watched
all the
3
cutscenes.
hours, I
Yeah.
think,
The
at
movie.
least 2 hours of cutscenes.
Yeah, it's long. It's a long game.
And then I played Kingdom Hearts 2. I played Birth by Sleep, which that was very interesting to finally
You smell different.
to finally go through the story of Birth by Sleep, because I knew these characters and didn't know anything about them. And like you had told me a lot about it, but
Yeah.
I still didn't really know the story that well.
One of the best trios in the series. My gosh, Terra Ventus and Aqua. So cool.
And I don't love Ventus, but it's
Yeah.
because I think he's just kind of a little whiny crybaby a
Yeah.
little bit. I think Roxas is a
He
much
grows a
better
little bit,
version of
but
him.
Roxas is awesome. Yeah.
And then
But
350
Ventus has a really cool armor arm. So.
yeah.
And he holds his Keyblade backwards.
Yeah.
Because he's a cool guy.
And then, of course, 358/2 days, and I think also Recoded were both just
the cutscenes,
just the cutscenes in the game. So,
but they're great.
so I watched through all those, and then same with for Dream Drop Distance, I did the same thing as I did
Yeah.
with Rechain of Memories, and just watched all the cutscenes on YouTube. It's
really all you need.
The like 2 to 3 hours again of cutscenes.
Yeah.
Man,
The game's okay.
Yeah.
It's really not great. It's not one of my favorites. So
and then I played Kingdom Hearts 3, and that was an experience for sure.
it's really cool. It was cool to play a Kingdom Hearts game with good graphics.
Yeah,
I was like, this is really cool. And with worlds that were big compared to, a lot of the other games.
Yeah. Also, like Birth by Sleep 0.8 or whatever.
Prologue 2.8.
Yeah, 2.8. Yeah.
Yeah, where you play as Aqua in the underworld. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
And it's so Kingdom Hearts of them to release like a little game that's like a precursor to Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool, actually.
And just like,
and I love Aqua as a character.
and
so.
they did a pretty good job of showing the despair and hopelessness that she felt just
it's so
traversing this
messed up.
world of darkness.
Yeah, so messed up. And like the fact only a Keyblade master of her caliber could
Yeah.
have handled it. And she kind of didn't really handle it, as you
Right.
see in Kingdom Hearts 3 when she's fully dark.
Yeah. Also,
Spoiler. Oh, by the way,
there are going to be spoilers
spoilers
for all of the Kingdom
all
Hearts
of Kingdom
games.
Hearts.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
we're just getting
Quick
that out of the
warning.
way now.
Yeah. Aqua was evil for a bit.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
We're not gonna do like there will be spoilers from here to here. It's just if you don't want spoilers, stop the episode, listen to it later when you've played the games.
Yeah. Go pause this, go play every Kingdom Hearts game,
Yeah,
sit
all of
down,
them,
play
every
them
single
all,
one.
and then play the podcast
Yes.
again after the couple weeks it'll take.
Yeah.
So just stay on. Make sure to download and subscribe, And
So when I played Kingdom Hearts 1, that was
yeah, let's back it up. Kingdom Hearts 1.
That was tough but doable.
Yeah. When I replayed it, I played it on beginner.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to struggle. I wanted to just experience it again.
I think I played on standard, but I was never going to try frag
beginner
mode.
is in I can't describe how easy beginner is. It is you never have to you just again you mash X, which you can do for a lot of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
But I mean you mash X.
Yeah.
Like I grinded a little bit just for the fun of it because I wanted to see how strong I could become. And I was one-shotting enemies. I didn't know you could one-shot enemies in Kingdom Hearts. Even the shadows take 3 hits, right?
Right.
But no, 1 hit killed Heartless.
I
Couldn't believe it.
So when I
was
first
crazy.
played Kingdom Hearts 2, I didn't use the block button. I'm like, lol, who needs that?
True.
I played
Which can get you through standard,
Yeah.
but
So I played Kingdom Hearts 1 on standard, and I was like, okay, I need to learn how to use the block
learn
button.
how to block. Yeah.
And also, arrow magic was very helpful.
yeah, arrow, magnet, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Barriers, all kinds of stuff.
There were a couple of fights that gave me some trouble. Ursula was really
Yeah,
annoying.
Understandable. Annoying.
Yeah.
Most fights in Kingdom Hearts aren't that hard. They're just really annoying.
Yeah, they're just tedious.
yeah, just very annoying.
Maleficent was a bit tough for
Yeah.
me.
Well, if since
Took a couple of tries.
All right.
Ansem only took 2 tries, I think.
Yeah.
Actually.
I had trouble with Ansem a little bit, but not on beginner. Obviously, in beginner was fine. But I don't know if I died. I think I died once in beginner. I don't remember even who. But yeah.
By the way, I tried a couple of the optional bosses in Kingdom Hearts 1 and it just no.
Sephiroth is so
They're
insane, dude.
ridiculously hard.
my gosh,
the Ice
Sephiroth.
Titan.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then there's this one in the Aladdin level that has it's like got all these swords. It's like a heartless genie thing.
Oh yeah, the big genie thing. Yeah.
And apparently this was made by a player. It was a player designed thing that
I didn't know that.
He was like, I think he was like a cancer patient or something, and so this was a Make-A-Wish type of thing.
Wow, that's
so,
cool.
Yeah.
That's
it was
awesome.
actually really cool.
That's
and
really cool.
boy, it's a hard boss.
Yeah. I don't think I have ever tried that. I should.
Yeah. I think
should
it's
do
only
that.
in 1.5 or
Final Mix or whatever.
Mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. I remember Sephiroth being just
Yeah.
impossible. It was awesome, but it was so cool. By the way, that Sephiroth was in it.
Yes.
Obviously, you meet Cloud in the Olympus Coliseum and stuff, and so crazy that Sephiroth was
Yeah.
in Kingdom Hearts.
And just the whole fact that there are Final Fantasy characters in these games, and like it's really cool to see them in this context.
Yeah.
It's a totally different
Yeah. So I was.
place.
I really like Traverse Town, by the way. I love the vibe of Traverse Town, how it's like just, it's very dark and mellow sort of thing. Very, very fantasy, like town-esque. I remember thinking Leon was so cool.
Yeah.
But I never played Final Fantasy VIII at that point when I was first playing it. But like when Yuffie showed up, I was like, yeah, it's Yuffie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Which is, I mean, in like the beginning of the game, you meet them. But do you have favorite worlds from Kingdom Hearts 1 at all? I hated Deep Jungle when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I had such a hard time with Deep Jungle.
Oh yeah, Deep
Now
Jungle
it's not,
was
you
a
know,
little
not that hard.
frustrating.
But,
Favorite worlds. I also like Traverse Town.
yeah. I like Neverland. Neverland's pretty cool. But I just like
yeah.
Peter Pan in general. I didn't really like Monstro.
Oh, Neverland, dude. So fighting like Dark Sora,
Yeah.
like what was he called again?
Well, it wasn't the same anti-form
Right.
as Kingdom Hearts 2, but
Just like Heartless Sora.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Dark.
was a freaking hard fight.
his shadow or whatever.
Yeah.
Very cool. And it was
yeah.
messed up. As a kid, I was freaking out because Riku takes your Keyblade.
Yeah.
I was like, what?
What am I gonna do? I think I like Aladdin's world in the first
Oh, yeah.
game.
Yeah, Agrabah's good.
Yeah, Agrabah.
Agrabah's good. But in general, every Kingdom Hearts 1 world is overshadowed by their 2 counterpart.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. It's all right. It's not my favorite game to replay, Kingdom Hearts 1, because I'm actually more nostalgic for 2, probably,
Yeah.
oddly enough.
Well, I am too,
But-
even. And,
Yeah.
But it's because it was the first one I beat. First one I played seriously. First one I played with any real length of time.
But obviously, it's one of the better Kingdom Hearts games compared to some of the lesser offshoots. But
Yeah.
so for Chain of Memories, did you really play it?
No,
You didn't really play it
I just
until-
watched the cutscenes.
yeah.
Is all. And then of course we got in the Story So Far collection we got back cover,
Yeah.
and so that was very interesting seeing.
That was the first because I didn't look at any of the Union Cross stuff.
Yeah, it was our
before
first
that,
exposure
so-
to any story prior to the Keyblade War,
So-
which actually I guess that's the only story prior to the Keyblade War.
So learning about the Master of Masters and
Yeah.
Xehanort and everyone, very interesting.
And and then Kingdom Hearts 3, it wrapped up a lot of what it had been laid forth so far, but it didn't wrap up everything because of
of
course
course not.
there's going to be more.
Of course it didn't. Yeah, and again, spoilers, the Zigbar thing
Yeah.
was so weird.
The fact that he was
So interesting that he's,
all along.
Xehanort. And
Well, he was
Lushu, I believe
yeah,
is his name.
Lushu.
But it makes his like 3D like cutscenes make a lot more sense. Like why is young Xehanort and Zigbar hanging out? Like why Zigbar?
And why does Zigbar seem to know stuff?
Yeah, Zigbar always was weird and seemed to know more than he should.
Yeah. And it's
Like, oh, it
because
turns out
like,
he's ancient
yeah.
and way more special than the other ones. Very, very interesting. I actually didn't see that coming.
Yeah.
So I thought that was actually pretty cool. Yeah, very interesting. So for Kingdom Hearts 2, do you have favorite worlds and stuff? I want to talk about that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The Tron world is
Tron
cool.
World's cool.
I
Space
like
Paranoids.
it. Space Paranoids,
Yep,
yeah.
that is cool. Obviously, the look is fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always love Halloween Town.
Mm-hmm.
Any of the Jack Skellington stuff's very fun. I thought Port Royal was okay.
Oh yeah, that was I did like Port
Yeah.
Royal.
I actually really like the Kingdom Hearts 3 version
Yeah.
because the ship combat was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the
And
the
then
ship stuff.
the Lion King world, it's really fun to run around as a
Yes.
lion
Yeah. I feel like you feel very strong in that too.
and very fast. You
Yeah,
just
very
run
fast.
across
You
the
dash
savannah
like
super
crazy.
quick.
I remember the first time you can get you reminded me of, you can get one of the Orichalcum Pluses there.
Right.
And the first time I actually got Ultima Weapon
Uh-huh.
in
I
Kingdom
remember
Hearts
I got
2,
that too, yeah.
I felt so cool.
I, of course, never got Fenrir because
it.
you need to beat Sephiroth.
I did get Fenrir.
Yeah.
That is... So I don't think I've beaten Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 1, but I have in 2 a couple times. And man, yeah, he's hard. Not as hard as Kingdom Hearts 1, though, I don't
So,
think. So.
I've-
And Fenrir is such a cool
I have
Keyblade.
fought every organization member, but you can, of course, refight them,
Yes.
the data versions, at level 80. And
so
no,
insane.
I tried like 2 of them and it just got curb
so
stomped.
insane. Yeah. So funny. Yeah, I remember, gosh, Demix was hard for me as a kid.
Yeah.
Now, not at all. Now, Demix is like not hard at all to me. It's
Yeah.
very interesting. I don't know what happened.
When I
I got good, I guess.
I remember I fought Zaldin, and I definitely did not fight him correctly. Because there is definitely a method to fighting him, and I
Yeah.
definitely did not know that method or use that method. And so I just kind of cheesed it and managed to win somehow.
There's like a pretty mathematical way you can look at the boss fights.
Yeah.
And like, because they have pretty predictable patterns.
Yeah.
So you can really like overanalyze the boss
Again, on
battles.
beginner, spam triangle, win.
Yeah, you're good.
Done.
You're good. Yeah.
Nothing wrong there. But yeah, on standard, it was a struggle.
Also, now is fighting Zigbar really isn't a big deal to
Oh,
me now
yeah.
either, because I know how to dodge his stuff basically.
Yeah, exactly.
And like even his big thing where he like shoots a ton of bullets at you
Yeah.
constantly, you literally just can run in a circle and dodge them all. Like as a kid, I did not understand that,
Yeah.
you know? Playing it now is so different
Yeah.
than playing it then. But yeah. Kingdom Hearts 2, I have the most deep thoughts and memories on, you
Yeah.
know? The Timeless River was pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
The like black and white one.
In Birth by Sleep, so I played in the standard order of play as Terra first,
Terra,
then Ventus, then Aqua.
Yeah.
When I played Terra, I was hard, but I was still kind of getting used to how the system
You were
worked.
new to it and stuff.
And
yeah.
so, like, the fight with Vanitas was really hard for me.
Is tough though.
But then I played as Ventus, and everything was a little easier. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this.
I actually feel like Ventus is the easiest,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Then when I played as Aqua, it was so easy comparatively. It was just like, oh, I'm like a god here. Just
If you play her right, she's insanely strong. Even just her plain Wayfinder
yeah.
is so strong, and like
It also took
she
me
has some great
way
specials.
longer to like unlock everything as Terra because again, it took so long to figure out how to play him correctly.
When I first played it, I was like, I want to play the girl because
Yeah.
she's cool. And so I think I played Aqua first, so that was tougher, but not like by the time I was halfway through, it was okay.
Yeah.
And so it made Ventus super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I had played like Ventus Aqua Terra would have been super easy.
Way too easy. Yeah. It's sad. I think that game had a lot of limitations just based on the hardware it was played on.
Right.
And so the worlds are probably the worst in any game, in any Kingdom Hearts
Yeah,
game.
there's just it's like every world is 3 rooms.
Gosh, it's so bad.
And they used graphics to make them look big and grand, but like the
but
amount
then you
of
go, wow, there's
area that
nothing
you can
here.
actually walk around in and do stuff and that actually has that you can actually interact with is so
I remember
small.
replaying it and going to like the Snow White world, for
Yeah.
instance. It is like, I think it's only 2 rooms, like 2 areas,
Yeah.
and there's nothing in both areas.
Yeah.
And even those 2 areas are empty. It is like insane how empty and sad the worlds are.
Yeah.
And also there's like I actually like the Toontown area. But there's like that, you've seen like the screenshots, there's like memes about it of like Terra being like, maybe the darkness was in me all along. And then it like zooms out and he's like in Toontown and it's like Queen Minnie like, hello, you know? It's like so weird and out of place.
Yeah.
But still, I really enjoy Birth by Sleep. But
Yeah.
it's funny. Obviously, as everyone makes fun of constantly, the story is a bit convoluted.
Yes.
I'm not going to deny that.
No.
But it's not that hard to understand, I feel like.
There
listen,
are worse stories.
there's
when
much
it comes,
worse stories out there.
especially when it comes to Japanese stories from
does-
video games
Yeah,
and anime.
exactly. It's very Japanese.
Yeah.
Like Metal Gear isn't much more normal than Kingdom Hearts is.
No.
And stuff like that. It's like they're all a bit weird. It's like once you understand the rules of the world, it does an okay job of adhering to those.
It is
Like when
interesting.
you understand nobodies and hearts.
I got
and-
it. I noticed
all
a
that.
pattern as I started to. There were just a couple of IPs, a couple of stories that I wanted to know the entire story. I wanted to know everything there was to know. And there are a few stories that is extremely difficult to do.
Yes.
At least with Kingdom Hearts, it's possible. You can do it, and you really only need to go to a couple of sources. Like
You watch enough videos and read enough wikis.
if for some reason you don't care about playing the games and you just want the story, you could just watch all like 12 hours of cutscenes on YouTube, and then
or get the light novels.
Yeah.
They're pretty good.
or go, and then after that go and watch all of the Union Cross story.
There's even light novels of the Union
overviews.
Cross stuff.
Yeah.
So Union Cross, everything has light
And then
novels
you'll
now.
basically know everything there is to know about the Kingdom Hearts story.
Yeah.
Whereas, so in 2003 and 2004, I was big into Zoids.
Oh gosh, yeah, the Zoids.
If you want to actually get into all
the lore,
of it, you have to go back to the toys they released in like the 50s or something.
so long ago.
Because these toys had these little story blurbs. And guess what? Those are canon.
Those are very canon.
Also,
How
there was
funny.
this like animated web comic where like certain panels they'd have like characters like jumping out of the screen kind of. It was like their attempt to do like kind of a flash animation
Proto
comic thing. That's
early-
also canon.
Gosh.
And it's in Japanese, so of course you got to go and like find
translated
fan
version.
translations.
Yeah. Wow, that's awful. So I'm sorry to teenage you.
Yeah.
Really into Zoids.
Yeah. So
I'm sure the forums talked about it a little bit too.
and then the other one that I got into near the same time is Dot Hack.
Gosh. Talk about convoluted.
There are games, there are manga, there are anime. Some of them have something to do with each other, some of them don't. What's canon?
Most
What do you
of
want
them
to be
make
canon?
no sense. Yeah. Gosh.
And then
so
there's
funny.
Fate, which
Also, a bit yikes.
yeah. Which, if you want to know about Fate, watch Garnt's Gigax video on Fate.
There you go.
And he'll talk about just how convoluted that story is.
There you go. In a very similar vein, I tried to go deep into the lore of Metal Gear Solid, as I mentioned, which is way more convoluted than I thought it was going to be when I got into it.
Like, who is Big Boss?
Yeah, exactly. Who is Big Boss? How many snakes are there? A lot. Which ones are clones? Who knows? How many ocelots are there? Well, there's a couple. Yeah, it's very much like Big Boss is Sora
Yeah.
because his heart is split into a lot of different forms.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I don't know.
They're also all Ventus?
And they're also all Ventus, but Ventus was around in the Union Cross days and had
Yeah.
a different name, which I forgot. I think maybe
No, it was Ventus still.
was it still
Yeah.
Ventus? Okay, thank God.
But also, like, Sora existed as his own person while Ventus was alive, so...
Listen, all you need to know: Sora has a big heart,
Yes.
and he lets in a lot of people.
Multiple people have lived
Sometimes
in his heart.
that's a really good thing and saves people's lives. Sometimes it just sort of breaks everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I I will say I love Kingdom Hearts 3 spoilers.
Yeah.
Huge spoilers. In Kingdom Hearts 3, when everyone dies,
Yeah.
I think that is so awesome. I think that was such a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, guess what? You all lost. Everyone lost. You all die. It's over. like Donald uses the most powerful magic on Earth and dies from it. And then Kyrie gets ripped out away from Sora as he's like reaching for her and dies in a tornado. Like, it's crazy.
A tornado of Heartless.
Tornado of Heartless. I couldn't believe what I was watching. And then the fact you have to basically, as Sora, put yourself back together in the afterlife so that you can go and stop the Grim Reaper Heartless from taking the hearts of all your friends. Insane. I could not believe that's what was happening. So I love that. That was very ballsy of Nomura to do, I think. But it makes it cool. It makes the story cool. I don't know. And then tying in the Union Cross
Yeah.
after that being like
Ephemer
hey,
and-
the hearts of every Keyblade wielder ever are going to help you. Like, that's awesome.
Yep.
Like, I don't know. It was pretty climactic and I thought handled pretty well, actually. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people criticize that, but I thought that was
even
awesome.
though the story's not completely over, they did
No.
it is a completion of
Yeah,
something. Like
of some
this
sort.
arc is over.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, I mean, in the end, yeah, Xehanort was like dead and like
Yeah.
being like sorry, basically about everything. Well, and not only that, but basically every villain, you fight every villain
Yeah.
in that at the end there, and at the end they all sort of go, "Hey, sorry about all that."
Yeah. Well, it's
They're
like
all kind of human at the
especially
end.
like when you fight Ansem slash, like Ansem, quote unquote,
Yeah.
like the Xehanort who
the-
called himself Ansem.
The darkness one,
Yeah.
I forgot he had a name,
Xehanort's heartless.
Yeah. something
and-
of darkness or
Yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
And he, the respect he shows
yeah.
you
Yeah.
when you
even
fight
Zemnis,
him.
even Zemnis did,
Yeah.
you know. That was so weird
Yeah.
to see those characters talking like that, you know.
And
So, I don't know.
I did want to talk about Union Cross a little bit.
Sure.
So if I remember correctly, I watched a video talking about this. So I believe it started as Kingdom Hearts Key.
Yeah,
It was a
Or
browser
X.
game.
Yeah.
Not even a mobile game. It was just you played it in a web browser, and it was a gacha game called Kingdom Hearts Key, CHI. And then that became Unchained Key, and then that became Union Cross.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it is a different game, but it's a continuation.
Yeah.
But it's not really a
And it is
sequel
all the same
so much. It's
story,
basically the
basically.
same game, but
it's just
anyway.
continuation. Yeah,
Yeah. And so they've been releasing story bits for the game as it's been going on. And these are canon, and and this is literally the only way you can know about what happened immediately after the Keyblade War, but before the events of any of the games.
basically between the beginning and Birth by Sleep.
Yeah.
This is what happened. Yeah, and I mean, you meet like the nobodies we know
Yeah.
as humans, like Luxord's human is there.
Yeah.
Marluxia, Larxene.
Yeah.
Like as humans when they were, you know, way back in the day.
Yep.
Very, very odd.
Yeah.
And then obviously a lot of the main characters are like they're not the sages. What are they called?
Oh, right.
The people with the masks. You
yeah.
know, the main.
Well,
that
they're the
main-
masters.
The masters of some sort. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But, and then what's the newest? There's a newer
Yeah,
one.
Dark
Dark
Road.
Road. Yeah.
Which is the story of young Xehanort and young Ericus.
Ericus. Yes. Yes, their classic chess game scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is funny. It tells the entire story of Kingdom Hearts, basically.
Yeah.
Their chess game, which is awesome
Yeah.
and like so over the top, but really cool at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, there's flaws to these games.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a few games I would never want to play again. There is, you know, things, but no series is perfect, is it?
No.
This is still always going to be one of my favorite games. I
Yeah.
feel like. I'm very interested to see what they do with it going forward. This big city, like Final Fantasy style world that we're
Yeah.
moving into, that's in like another dimension, basically. You know, Yozora's dimension,
Yeah.
which is like a video game within Kingdom Hearts, sort
Yeah.
of. Yeah.
And Yozora is like has like Noctis vibes from like
Yeah.
FF15.
Yeah.
Reminds me of him a lot.
It's like, for what it seems, it's fiction.
Yeah.
Like in the world of Kingdom Hearts, this is fiction, but because it's Kingdom Hearts, fiction is sort of real also.
Yeah.
So, and it does absolutely affect things.
Well, and we've already had Data World people be
Exactly.
real and
Data
yeah.
people got hearts.
Yeah.
And as we learned, even nobodies gained their own hearts, became totally separate beings with thoughts and feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like anything can be real, basically.
Yeah.
So very interested to see where it goes with that. With that big city, I'm gonna guess it's gonna be fairly open world,
Yeah.
which is the way most games are going anyway. So
Well, and like Kingdom Hearts 3 has moments like that
Yeah,
where there's
very
very
open.
huge worlds,
especially
like,
compared to previous
yeah,
games.
like the Big Hero 6 world.
Big Hero 6 is huge. Even Olympus Coliseum was a very big world.
Yeah.
Like way bigger than any other game, any Kingdom Hearts game.
And it's
since
like
then.
they still have some of the things they used in some of the tricks they used in Birth by Sleep to make the world seem bigger than it really is, because the amount that you can actually interact with is a lot smaller than what you can see.
Yeah.
But there's still way more that you can interact with than there is in
There was a
almost
lot
any
of
other
moments-
game. Well, that in any other Kingdom Hearts game.
There was a lot of moments in like Olympus, because that's one of the first worlds you go to, that I was so shocked I could go somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, there isn't an invisible wall right there? Like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So yeah, being able to jump, from building to building or something. Yeah, very cool. How did you feel about the Keyblades and the special abilities and like those specials basically that every Keyblade had?
They felt kind of gimmicky, but also like they were too useful to not use. So
Yeah, like the amusement park ride stuff was
Yeah.
so gimmicky. I used it sometimes.
it
but
just
I
kind of
actually-
seemed overly silly.
Yeah. I mean, graphically, they looked amazing. But I found a few Keyblades that I was just like hooked on. The Tangled Keyblade,
Yeah.
when you're high in magic, is so
Once
strong.
I got the Pirates of the
ridiculous.
Caribbean one, I
that's a good one.
exclusively used it.
That's a very good
That's the
one.
only one I've used once I got it.
Yeah, that one's up there. I found myself usually using the Tangled one because I was more magic focused.
Oh, yeah.
On this playthrough, and it's very high
actually,
in magic.
so when you started playing it, you recommended to focus on magic,
I was like,
and so
focus on magic.
I used magic more in Kingdom Hearts
Yeah,
3 than I
than
ever
any other
did in
game.
the earlier games.
because it is strong. It
Yeah.
is really strong.
I think I played Kingdom Hearts 2 one time with a very heavy magic focus and used Wisdom Form a lot, and that was a very interesting
fun.
way
It's
to
very
play.
different. Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2 has very odd magic
Yeah,
that is sometimes really good, and sometimes you feel like you're not doing anything.
yeah,
It's one of those games where you can fully lean on the magic or fully ignore it completely.
yeah. Like when I played it on beginner, the first time I beat it and I played it on beginner, I was all just X button,
Yeah.
almost ignored magic completely except for Kira.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
used Valor Form a lot until I got Final Form.
Yep. That's
but-
how I was a lot early game too.
But this one
early
time I
playthroughs.
played and I used, and so like even when I used Valor Form, I used the like gun like Keyblade thing. I didn't even use magic
the wisdom.
much.
Yeah,
wisdom form.
Yeah.
But this time I played, and when I used Wisdom Form, I just spammed magic, and I'm like,
Like,
this
oh,
is really
this
good.
is awesome. Okay.
I'm like using Wisdom Form the way it was meant to be
Yeah.
used.
Yeah.
and
late,
then
late game, like wisdom form zipping around using Thundaga and everything, you are unstoppable.
Yeah.
You're nothing can attack
and then
you.
of course you do the same thing in Final Form, and it's just even
Yeah.
more so.
Insane. Yeah. I really enjoyed the forms
Mm-hmm.
in Kingdom Hearts 2.
That's a game we had the player's guide for it.
Yes, I still
The
have.
fully
I still
illustrated
have
player's
mine.
guide, yeah.
I still have the original. It's ripped in
And-
half, but I still have it.
That's
It's a huge
okay. There's
player's
something
guide.
cool and special about playing a game with a fully illustrated player's guide
Mm-hmm.
next to you. It hypes you up for it. I
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
did that with Pokemon with Red and Blue. I did that with World of Warcraft actually with the Burning Crusade expansion.
Interesting.
It gives you all this stuff to look forward to.
Mm-hmm. And helps you just get very particular things
Yeah.
so you don't miss anything
And like
cool.
on the one hand, it does spoil a lot. It tells you things that you shouldn't know going into the game, but at the same time, it gives you all this hype for things to come.
Yeah.
You
And it helps you have a fuller experience. You don't miss as much. So-
you flipping through pages and you see this really cool boss. Like, I'm gonna get to fight him. That's so cool. You see artwork from this area, and you're like, I get to go there and do things. That's cool.
Yeah.
And then there's this weapon I can unlock. And
Yep. The Kingdom Hearts 2 guide had a list throughout the whole thing on like on the left side. That was every world in the game.
Yeah.
And what world the guide was in. And so you got to look forward to the next world.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, wait, after this I get to go back to Agrabah. Like, oh, awesome. I wonder what Agrabah is going to be like in this game compared to Kingdom Hearts 1 or
And it helps
whatever.
that they've got like often have like really nice artwork too.
Yeah, full artwork.
Yeah.
It's a really nice player's guide, actually. Yeah.
Because like I had the official Nintendo Power or player's guide for Pokemon Red and Blue back in the day, and so
Classic.
that's how because of that I knew a lot of stuff. Like I knew I understood type advantages and stuff, and like this was back.
You saw all the mistakes that were in the guide.
That's true. I was able to list every mistake in the guide. But like, so game
Classic.
FAQs, I think actually existed at this point because it's actually an extremely old website, and
Yeah.
I didn't know that for a long time. But it was a very underutilized website. It had very few guides that it had very few users compared to,
Yeah.
at least compared to it even in 2003.
For sure.
So like the number of kids playing Pokemon in the States that actually knew anything about it outside of what they experienced playing it was so little. And it's like and
So true.
I'm sure that was probably not as true with Kingdom Hearts because I think sites like Game FAQs were a lot more used and popular.
Yeah, definitely.
But like yeah.
But it was great for I definitely used it for finding some specific item locations and
Oh, like all
stuff
the
like that.
Orichalcum Pluses.
Orichalcum
Yeah.
Pluses. I mean, I think the strategy guide does have that, but I don't think it was very specific.
Yeah.
And this guide was like, oh, it's in this exact chest in this exact area.
Yeah.
You can only get it once you're at this point in the game, stuff like that. But what was really helpful in the strategy guide is that at the back it had every enemy type, every Heartless and Nobody, and everything they dropped, every
Oh, yeah.
material they dropped, and like the percentage of how often they would drop that. And so like that was insanely helpful for synthesizing different things.
What do you think of the gummy ship?
The gummy ship stuff is in Kingdom Hearts 2, it was one of my least favorite parts.
Yeah.
I was kind of just annoyed that I had to do it. Now I like it a little bit more actually than I used to, because I like Galaga and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. In
Yeah, it's
Kingdom
like
Hearts,
a game within the game.
in Kingdom Hearts 3, there was a lot of it,
No.
and it was pretty cool because it was one space throughout the different worlds. It was still the same space, and so like it was basically an open world space game,
Yeah.
a little mini game. And so no matter where you were in the game, you could always go over to this little area where this insane boss was.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna stay clear of that, or if it's like, oh, I'm gonna go, fight that. And it had there's a lot of random special items you can get there.
There were a couple of ones, I think in Kingdom
enjoyed
Hearts
it.
3 that were actually hard
Yes.
to get through.
Oh yeah, definitely. I would say Kingdom Hearts 3 did it best, just
Yeah.
because it seemed like it was worth doing.
Yeah.
And I remember to get the Ultima weapon in Kingdom Hearts 3, there's like I forget what the requirement is exactly. There's something you have to beat or get a certain score on in the gummy ship. That was very difficult.
Yeah.
I think it's a particular ship you have to destroy. Yeah, it was insane. But it helped me understand that world a lot better. Mm-hmm. Yeah, getting that was tough because you have to do all the mushrooms too. Those little like mushroom heartless. You remember that in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah.
There were like these
vaguely.
weird mini games you had to do.
Yeah, kind of.
You have to do all of those to get Ultima Weapon. So that was a whole thing. But anyway, Ultima Weapon is insane in Kingdom Hearts 3, by the way, because like every other Keyblade, it has a like special ability form
Oh, yeah.
that you go into, and you basically go into master form, or not master, but final form. And you have like these rainbow of swords surrounding you,
Oh, that's cool.
and like you just go nuts. Anyway, it's really cool. It made Xehanort insanely easy because I just did that. But yeah, some of my most hype moments in gaming were in Kingdom Hearts. A lot of the most grinding I've done was probably in Kingdom Hearts. Like in Kingdom Hearts 2, getting every form to max level so that I could get Glide or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. The first time I beat
Huge
Kingdom
to
Hearts
me.
2, doing all that for all the forms was like, who would have time to do this?
Yes,
I tried for a
seriously.
little while, and I was just like, I'm not.
It sucks.
But this time when I beat it in the Story So Far collection, I made a point of that because then once you need Glide to get a lot of stuff, basically.
Yeah.
And I wanted to. I'm not sure.
100%-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like I wanted to like 97% these games.
Yeah. I love doing a 98% run of Kingdom
Yeah.
Hearts. I don't know if I've ever played it where I got every single treasure chest and like basically filled Jiminy's journal
Oh, yeah.
completely. I don't think I've ever done that.
I think I might have
Really?
because I was watching YouTube videos that just showed where all the chests were.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's easy to.
So
to
I think
find a
I
guide.
actually did accomplish that.
Interesting.
Basically, the only thing I didn't accomplish in Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 was
Yeah.
beating every optional boss.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I did in Kingdom Hearts 2.
And that's just because of
Did
the
every
like
optional boss.
the level 80 data versions
Yeah.
of organization members and stuff.
Yeah, I guess like in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, there's that crystal area,
Yeah.
the crystal abyss or
Yep.
whatever. And there's all the data fights you can do.
Yeah.
And I did not do all those.
Right.
Definitely not.
Well, just for one thing, I didn't want to grind up to max level
Yeah.
just to be able
I
to be
mean,
strong enough.
I always got to level 99 pretty much, but
I never got close, but
like
again,
Sephiroth I'll fight, but
as I've said in
all that stuff,
with
no.
other RPGs, I don't grind if I don't have to.
Yeah.
I grind as little as
I
can
grind a
get
lot more
away
than you
with.
do, I think in general.
Unless I'm playing PSO, but that's because that's all there is.
That's
to
all. That's the whole
The
game.
entire game is grinding. So.
It's like a gotcha game, except there's no good.
Except you don't
No
get
micro-
anything
You
for
don't
it.
get anything for it. Yes, it's gotcha, but even worse. But there's no microtransactions.
That's at least it's
That
a lot
helps.
less expensive.
a lot less expensive. It's only expensive in time.
Yes.
And as we know, time is money.
Yeah.
And thank you all for listening. To summarize, I like Kingdom Hearts a lot. I have a very nice Keyblade, full metal,
Oh yeah.
very heavy, very awesome. I still will listen to the music every once in a while.
Well,
and
Simple and Clean is just
Simple
great.
Clean, Sanctuary,
Yeah.
incredible. It's hard for me to watch that cinematic of Kingdom Hearts 2 with Sanctuary without bawling my eyes out
Yeah.
because there's something so deep and connected to me with
Yeah.
that. And
I get
so,
it. Yeah.
even with its shortcomings, I can't help but love the series as a whole. And the story's not too bad. I think it's all right.
And I still follow the YouTube channel Damo279 because he still does
Yeah, I haven't
every time story updates come out for
I
those
haven't
games.
watched his specific videos, so
Yeah.
I should definitely look at those.
I feel like so I know he's not the only one that does them, but he does some very complete
He's pretty
overviews.
thorough, yeah.
Yeah.
So check those out if you want to know. I'm burping, sorry.
If you want to know
You
the
wanna
story
know,
of Union Cross and all the
story.
stuff that happens between back cover and Birth by Sleep, that's a good channel to follow.
Yes.
He does he plays the terrible gotcha games, so you don't
Yes,
have
so
to.
you don't have to. Fantastic. So yeah, there you have it. Kingdom Hearts deep dive. Kingdom Hearts rocks.
Yep.
That's that.
Good game.
Good game. GG. Thank you all for watching and listening. If you're watching, I don't know what you're watching because there's nothing on the screen, so that's weird. Thank you for listening. Go ahead and download the podcast if you're into that. It really means a lot to us so we can just see who's viewing. Go follow us on Twitter at the Brothers G Pod.
Check out our subreddit
subreddit.
r/Brothers
What?
Game Podcast.
Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts. Tell us your favorite Kingdom Hearts game. Tell us why we're stupid for liking Kingdom Hearts. I don't care. Just talk to us. That'd be awesome. We love to hear from you guys. And yeah, thanks so much.
Bye.
Bye.